Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about what is the main key thing, or is actually two key things that's going to be able to get your Google Display Network ad or Facebook ad or online banner ad campaign, wherever you're running a banner ad or non-search engine ad online, to get it to work basically every time. There's two main key ingredients. I'm going to go over both of what those things are, and then I'm going to give you examples of different display campaigns slash Facebook. Anything that's not search engine advertising technically is considered display advertising in the advertising world. I'm going to give you examples of real working campaigns where we were able to get great results on those campaigns, the ads that we were using, the targeting that we were using, which are, by the way, the two main ingredients in a profitable display advertising campaign that you run. And so you can basically do this for yourself. I'll give you enough examples here where you should have enough information walking away from this video to put together a campaign working for yourself, even though I haven't built you the campaign for your business. If you do need a bit more help, you can contact me or leave a comment down below. I'll be able to help you with your display campaign, or giving you the general idea of where to take it. The main reason why you want to do display advertising and not just Google search advertising or Bing search advertising, by the way, is because display advertising delivers a lower cost per lead and lower cost per sale, or another way to say it is a higher ROI than search engine advertising does or is. And the reason for this is real simple. The display advertising it's not as sought after by your competition and by the public as a whole, because it takes more work, and also more so takes more knowledge to know how to set display advertising up for your business in order to get it to work. For the most part, when people advertise on a billboard, they don't expect a return from that directly. As people advertise online through banner ads and so forth, they do expect a return because of the tracking, that can be done, setting up tracking on your website through Google Analytics to see if somebody clicks on an ad and buys. They set up campaigns, and 95% of the time people do this, and if they are paying attention to the return that directly derives from an ad click, if they're not talking about remarketing where somebody comes back to the website, but even with that as well, most of the time, they're not going to see a return because they don't know these key things, these two key ingredients that you got to have to make your display campaign work. Therefore, the demand for the advertising is way less. Whereas on a Google search ad, for instance, you just got to be able to have the best ad, the best landing page. The person's going to buy. And it's just having a more professional ad and better landing page than the other person, you win. It's profitable. You win, it's a lot easier to win with less knowledge, but the margins you can make are not going to be as good as what a display campaign can bring in. Also, which I don't have written here, your returns from display can be much, much greater overall than what you get through Google Ads in terms of overall profit, because display ads can generally scale way more than Google search ads will in general. I do talk about on this channel where you should start out with Google Ads because it's easier to get set up for the average person, and then you can parlay your profits into getting some sort of display campaign working, and my mind hasn't changed about that. For the average person, that's what you should do. But certainly, as you get your search engine ads to work, if that works, you've got a working, profitable business. There's no reason why you shouldn't get into display ads to be able to, scale the sales that you get way further what you could get through the search engines. Given there's only so many people on the search engines searching for what you have each month, there's only so much to tap into. And since most people in your niche or your market know about Google search ads and the value is obvious, there's customers right there ready for everybody to get. The traffic is bid up in price, and the returns just aren't going to be, they're only going to be so big. Whereas on a display ads, the returns are basically, the sky's the limit, depending on how good you do at these two things I'm going to mention on this video you got to do to get it to work. Most people can also for sure get a display ad to work for their business, even though 95% won't run an ad that's profitable. most of you guys, certainly I'd say for sure 90% of you guys can get a display ads campaign to work. You just got to know these two things. So anyway, without repeating myself anymore here, I will go through what those two things are, and then I'll rattle through some different examples of campaigns that had these two things and what we specifically did for them to give you enough information to certainly do this for yourself and be a part of the very few who gets a very profitable, very scalable display ad running for yourself on Facebook, on Google Display Network, and other places where you could run different ads outside the search engines. So first of all, the number one key ingredient that you need for any non-search engine advertising to work for your business is you need targeting, or a targeting option i.e. where your ads are which group of people that you're going to target with your ads that you're setting up with your display campaign. Whatever you choose, group of people that you choose to target needs to have, this is a rough number, but it's an idea to illustrate a point here. 1% of more of the people that you're targeting has buyers that if they were presented with the option to buy, they could and would buy. If you get into so in other words, if you're marketing to 100 people, one of those people better be able to, if they actually were presented with the option, they could and would buy. If it's less, then you need to drill down your targeting more until you have that 1% or greater people that you're marketing to would buy. Otherwise, what happens is you end up spending so much money marketing to the people who don't click on your ads that your campaign doesn't end up with a profit anymore. After all your product or service expenses, to deliver that service, the expenses with that, and the cost of the advertising and all your rest of your overhead, you can't make money. And that all comes down to the higher the click-through rate on your ads, the lower the cost per click, the lower the cost per click for the same people, the higher your campaign ROI is going to be. So you need a click-through rate that's has a certain click-through rate over a certain threshold just to be in the game of making money. As you're setting up Google Display Network ads or banner ads on the web, if you can get a 1% click-through rate on your ads, you're generally going to be able to make money, assuming you have, of course, the right offer. And of course, it's the right people clicking on the ads. It's not, you can get anybody to click on an ad a lot of times just to see what's on the other side because they're curious. It's would-be buyers. And on Facebook, if you can get or like LinkedIn, if you can get a click-through rate 2-3%, it's the same kind of thing. So with that said, how do you get, your targeting of the 6 billion people in the world that you can target narrowed down enough to where you have that 1% saturation rate of customers that would buy targeting with your targeting setup within your campaign? You've got several main options here. These are the go-tos that I'm going to go to personally for any campaign we set up for our few dozen clients, and hundreds of times that I've personally set up a display campaign on Google Display Network or Facebook for our clients and businesses that I've managed as well. The first of it, which is you could use geofence targeting. I just made a video. My very last video was about geofence hyper-local geo-targeting, where you can actually target a specific building, a specific room if you wanted within a building with an ad. So basically, anybody that's in this building will see a banner ad from us. If they're not in this building or haven't been in this building in the last 30 days, they won't be able to see our ads. And this is effective because you can target, the obvious one being people that have entered your competitors' buildings, but it also could be somebody who enters a building that almost for sure, or at least 1% of the people that go in this building would buy our product or service if we just told them why they should buy our product, or why our product, when they are going to buy, they should be buying ours. And one example of that would be like the personal injury lawyer. If you're a personal injury lawyer, you need people that were in an accident that need compensation for what the other person potentially may have done to them. You're targeting somebody who's been on a helicopter pad in the last 30 days. And you can do that with hyperlocal geo-targeting using the methods that I told you about on the previous video. And that's one way to narrow down the targeting enough to your prospective buyers that any ads that you run will just work, assuming the ad has actually got a decent offer on it, which I'm going to get into, which is the second part of the ingredients in the ingredient list on a profitable display campaign that works. So that's one way to drill down the targeting to a super high saturated list of people, that could and would buy from all the possible people you could target with display advertising in general, which is basically everybody, because everybody's on the web now. 2, you could actually, you could use an email list, either purchased or built. So what this means is you could go and build, if you were targeting like what we had before, we were targeting selling a specific cleaning solution to different warehouses and stuff where they have to clean. And obviously the person who's going to buy that is the facility manager at those specific types of warehouse and factories and so on and so forth. So obviously we could wait around for somebody to search for cleaning solution, but it's not that often they're going to search for that. And it's competitive in that particular ads area where we can advertise. We could also grab and hand build us an email address list of every single purchase manager in that group of type of businesses itself that could utilize our product, in which our product would be better than the product that they're using now if they just knew of it. And so you go out there and you build a list. If you don't know how to do this, you can contact our firm. A lot of it has to do with all the permutations of how an email address could be put together, like first name, last name, and then @companyname.com, first name dot last initial @companyname.com. You guess it. You test emails to each of the variants there, and then you find it that way. And then there's data entry people that can help you do this for like $1 an email, literally speaking. And again, contact our firm if you need help with this. But then once you have an email list, now when we target this email list with our offer for a cleaning solution, we know every single person who sees our ad needs our product, and we're not having to market to people who don't need our product anymore. If you do search engine advertising, when somebody's looking for a cleaning solution, and we know that the cleaning solution we have only really is good and usually is used by 5% of the people who buy cleaning solution. So instead of marketing to everybody who wants a cleaning solution, we market to the exact people who most need our product and basically typically buy the product. And then we weed out all the waste then in the process and get our 1% or greater of course, audience, way over 1% in this case, of people that could and would buy our product then, given we know the product works great for people like them and want to demonstrate and give them a sample of that product so they can see for themselves. And everybody that that does that wants to save money or make money for the company. So if we're going to give them something that claims to save them money and give them a free sample, why would they not take part in this? So that's the kind of thing we did there. A similar thing was done for to sell bulk wholesale candy, making a list of all the owners of convenience stores and going after them, explaining how we can help them save time and money with the restocking of their candy, knowing that our prices were a little bit cheaper, and we have a customer manager who can help them automate the reordering and so forth, and you get a customer manager to help you do that, which you don't get with a typical supplier, and an offer around that. So both of those, and in general, if you're targeting businesses and there's one key person in a business and only specific businesses that you usually deal with, that email list method is king. And as it comes to that, if you don't want to build the list manually, you can go to list brokers that have email lists of different people that just, facility managers of different companies or just owners of golf courses or whatever. And you can do this by going to Google and typing in Nextmark mailing lists, and you go to Nextmark, you make a search for the exact type of buyers you're looking for. If you know buyers have a certain criteria of what makes them different, what they've been looking for, what they've been researching, who they are, what traits they have, they'll probably have an email list of people like that. They actually buy information from other people. Specifically, it may be your competitors, your indirect competitor, all their customers. They sold their list to a list broker, which then sold it to Nextmark, and then now you have a list of all the people who bought from company X, which when you know they buy from company X, that's a person that typically would buy from you. So we'll just get their customer list. Of course, you could go to that company directly, but you usually don't have to because companies like Nextmark play the middleman and you can get an email list. In either case, you take your email list, you upload it to Facebook, and you can run an ad just at those exact people who are just looking to buy a house soon. Or, these people are buyers of fireworks typically every year. And if you sell fireworks, then obviously then you can want your ad in front of them. So that's the kind of thing you can do to get down to your 1% or greater of people that could or would buy your product in a specific list that you can target. The third way you can do this is you could get a custom intent audience going for your business. Now this is done specifically through Google Display Network we're talking about here. But through Google Display Networks, you can create through what is called a custom intent audience, a list of people who either been to somebody's website in the recent past or searched for a certain thing in the recent past. We're talking like in the last 30 days. And we use this all the time to make a list of people who targeted or searched for or was on our competitor site within the last 30 days to hit them with our own banner ad and offer on it. And you write down the name of the company, their trade names, their legal names, their URL, and then Google will serve you up with those exact people who searched for that competitor or went to that competitor site. So we can have an ad that says, don't deal with that competitor, deal with us because of XYZ. They're slower, they're more expensive, we're cheaper, we're better, we have a better value, and then redirect that person who deals with that person, either is evaluating an offer through them or deals with them and to pick them off as a customer or client for our firm. With that, you can do things like, and this is a real scenario, if you do countertop installation, like granite countertop installation, the typical person who buys a granite countertop is typically a person who's going to move into a new house soon. And so with that, you can actually target through Google Display Network people that are soon to be moving. And so with that, and with the custom intent audience, you could find things. So they have people soon to be movers as a targeted audience, but you can also find things that people do only when they're going to move soon. They're looking for moving companies, that kind of thing. And so with that, you can find other audiences to target. To give you some other examples here, if somebody, which is another realistic scenario that we had, if somebody, there's firms that do help you with your taxes. If you haven't paid your taxes in a few years, they help you negotiate with the IRS or your tax authority, basically, to be able to, get a compromise and make payments. You say you can't pay what they want you to pay so that you pay less. Somebody who's searching for, how do I pay my back taxes when I have multiple years of unpaid taxes? You can actually find people who search for all those kind of searches in the last 30 days and then have your banner ad show up for those people. If you're doing tax relief, 1% of those people who are searching for that would pay for a service and you know that through your own company's data and research. Therefore, you can have an ad show up for them saying, get your tax back tax problem fixed right away. Eliminate any garnishments immediately. Pay less than what you owe and quick. And then you have an offer set up for that. So that's another example of how you do the custom intent audience. All it takes is a few keywords, something somebody searched recently in the past that would indicate somebody who's got, at least a 1% of chance buying from you, or of course, been to a person's site before, which to get the person who targeted who's been on somebody's site, you put the URL in the custom intent audience. So that's another way to get you a tight list of people that is at least 1% likely to buy from you, so you can narrow down your targeting enough for your campaign to basically always work. The fourth option you have is just the pre-built audiences themselves. I just talked about the granite countertop installation company. They knew when somebody moves in to a house, that's the typical time most people buy granite countertop installation. And with that, they have an audience that's just set up for soon to be moving. With that, there are other examples where we used this before, is when somebody's, a company that does mortgage refinancing, they have an audience for people that are just considering mortgage refinancing there. And so we had a company who has a loan product which specifically is supposed to help a person be able to, if you're looking to buy a house, get to where it's like you can buy the house as if you had cash, so you can be the first person that the seller wants to pick from. And so they set you up as a cash buyer, even though you're getting a loan, but through this company you get the loan through them, but then you buy as if you're a cash buyer. In that particular scenario, they could target every person looking for a home loan. Person looking for home loan was a targeting option, and we could target them using a pre-selected targeting option that Google had. And of course, Facebook has all its pre-selected targeting options, which they have a lot less now. But if your market's big enough, you probably can just pick the pre-selected targeting options that they have. Just don't, if you don't think in your pre-selected options, 1% or more of the people that are searching for this would buy, get more creative and get into the custom intent audiences or the email lists or the geofencing, because that's, again, generally a requirement for you to be able to make money, specifically. And so there are some different examples of the targeting, what you kind of need for different scenarios and what you would need to do. And specifically, you get the general idea. You're going to have to do a lot of times research. You could target people that are dealing with your competitor. That's the easy one. But you're going to have to do some research. Where are the people that typically buy or would have at least a 1% chance of buying from you if you threw out your offer for them? Where do they go? What traits do they have? And then really do the research to figure out where is a group of people that you could target that is at least 1% likely to buy, in that to be able to have this work for you. And so people don't spend enough time basically doing this research. That's why their campaigns fail. The targeting is too broad. We had a situation where, the last example I'll give you here, where we were doing a company that buys life insurance policies. It's called a viatical, from people that are near death. They know they're going to buy. They want to sell their life insurance policy to get cash now to pay for presumably like medical treatments and so forth. In their situation, instead of just doing through Google search, we found people who and got creative, that specifically we knew if they were a group member of a cancer related a group on Facebook, we could target those people. Similarly, people who were searching for information regarding stage 3 or stage 4 cancer, the likelihood that somebody has a life insurance policy is actually 1 in 3. And a person who has stage 3 cancer or 4 cancer is statistically like more than 50% likely that they would be eligible for their life insurance policy to be purchased, because that's a factor. And when you combine all those things down, we just knew if we targeted, we don't even need somebody who is looking to sell their life insurance policy. We just did enough research to figure it out. Okay, great. The person that has stage 3 cancer or 4 cancer is the person that we hit with our display ad, because we can, we don't have to just wait for somebody to search for us. We can just go out to all of them. Or we don't have to just market to somebody who's looking for what's the best way to get a viatical. We can just go after the people who need it, given we did enough research. And that's what we actually did it the way that I'm talking about, and it worked very well. So we targeted all the people we could on Facebook and Google Display Network using custom intent audiences, and on Facebook, the people that are members of, not specifically a member of the group, sorry, but they follow a specific group itself, like a cancer society type of thing, even though that wasn't the exact organization, but you get the general idea. This is the kind of outside the box thinking you need to do to figure out where that 1% group of people is, that even if either you know they're in market, they're going to buy because of the competitor thing, or that person's just likely to buy what you have because they either need it so damn bad and they just don't know it exists yet, or they just have a problem. You do the research until you figure out where that is. And you've got all these combinations here, what you can use. It can be, they must be this and this and this, and when you combine them all, you have your 1%. And sometimes that's what it certainly takes, is not just one, but two or even three things that have to occur all in a row. You can do that with Google Display Network. You can have 10 things that they might all have to do, all in combination, in order for your ad to show and for you to have that 1% or greater likelihood for that person to be likely to buy and want and like to buy your product. Same kind of thing happens on Facebook, where they have to do multiple things. Google Display Network in general has a lot more targeting than Facebook does now. So in Facebook, you have to do a lot more of outside the box thinking, whereas on Google Display Network, with a lot of these custom intent audiences, you can make an audience for anybody, for basically anything, no matter how granular it is. So if you're having trouble making your campaign work, consider Google Display Network for stuff that's maybe more micro niche related. So anyway, that's the first thing you got to do. Have an audience of 1% or more of buyers in it for you to basically be able to be in position to make money, no matter what market you're in or what you're offering. The second ingredient is you have to come up with the right offer. So you have the targeting down, but don't have the offer right, you're not going to make money. If you have the offer right, but the targeting isn't, where you have 1% or greater of people that would buy and take advantage of that offer, you're still not going to make money. As far as the offer goes, it takes as much this takes more creative thinking. I'm going to give you the offers that we're using kind of the most, so you don't really have to think that much. It's really the harder part is just figuring out what's the features of the person that I need to target, where there's a group of people out there that I know 1% or greater of these people would buy, than it is coming out with the offer. That 1% audience saturation, needed audience saturation level is harder to find than the offer, given I'm giving you these offers here. So what's on your banner ad then, whether Facebook ad, banner ad through Google Display Network, LinkedIn ad, you got to be able to have that person know why they're seeing that ad and why is it right now they're seeing it. So most people that don't make ads, online, banner ads and stuff work, is they have a car dealership, they see an ad. If a company has a car dealership and they want people to come to their car dealership, they say, we're an Acura dealership, look at these cars we have for sale. It's boring. That's what everybody does. People are trained to ignore this. You got to have a creative way to get that person's attention. So the few times they do read and digest what's on that ad, which is not many, because most people ignore ads anymore because there's so many of them out there, that they'll take advantage of what you have. And of course, even if the ad's that person wants to buy what you have, you still generally need a creative spin on it to get that person excited right then and there, because you've got to realize they're reading that article, they're on Facebook browsing, they're not in the mood to go evaluate an offer, no matter if they need it or not at that point in time. You're competing for that person's attention. So you got to answer the question, why them, why now, so that you're going to get the proper click-through rate on your ad and therefore get the proper ROI on your campaign to make money. With that, I see a ton of people that try to do display ads. They don't have a dedicated landing page. No, you can't just send them to your homepage. No, you can't just send them to your landing page that you use for Google search. You almost always need a dedicated landing page for your display campaign. And to go further, a lot of times you're going to need a unique ad and landing page for each channel. Facebook ads and then Google Display Network. Not always, but they might be similar from Google Display Network to Facebook, but generally speaking, should I say for sure, you need a display, for your display ads, you need a dedicated landing page for that, because when somebody clicks on a display ad, their attention span is extremely small. It's not like a Google search ad where they're there to get information, or a Google search where they click on your organic listing, they're there to get information. On that display ad, you're lucky if you get them to click on that ad, But once you get them to your page, you only have like a few seconds to get your message across. And generally speaking, it's better to get their information quickly and then explain to them what you have on the phone or when they come into your store, because they're not set up, unless this is a game-changing, product or service that you have, to go read 15 minutes about this product or service. You're going to get them for a really short time, and you got to be able to capitalize and close the, being able to communicate with them later in that 10, 15 seconds, or less than 10 seconds even. So anyway, with that said, I'll give you some examples of how to make this ad and make your offer and know what to put on that landing page and what to put on that ad in order to make money with Google Display Network and Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads and so forth. As far as the why me of this why me, why now formula that you need to follow in order to make money with your display ads, I gave you plenty of examples here of stuff that you could apply, that if you get the hard part done and figuring out what audience or targeted list of people to go after that have 1% or more of all people on there that would buy from you, to have on the ad and the landing page to get people's attention and close on that attention to quickly, so that you don't basically lose them, getting too over technical, and with them basically wanting to get back to whatever they were doing before they clicked on the ad. One thing you could put on your ad, of course, if you have what you have on there, but as a way to get them excited, we're trying to titillate them a little bit so that they're excited about clicking on that ad and then acting when they get to the landing page, given you're fighting them wanting to just go back to what they were doing. You put on your ad and your landing page whatever you're selling, but you put on there as the main feature of the ad, call for special pricing, right? And so with that, you can have that person's attention, okay? It can be anything. It can be, we have a new spa that we opened, call for special pricing. You don't even have to have a big discount, but it gets people thinking, well, is it half off? Is it 75% off? I better call and find out, particularly as you tie it in with the why now part of the equation, which why now, you just simply say limited time offer. New spa just opened on 17th Street. Call for special pricing, limited time offer. Now, went from, okay, there's a spa there, I don't give a shit about it right now, to, oh, there's special pricing, huh? And, oh, it's only for this week, huh? I better act on it right now. Now you gave them a reason to act right now. You took the initial little bit of attention you got by saying special pricing, and then on the landing page you talked about special pricing, but only good for limited time offer, this week only, or July only, and you capitalized on it basically. So that's one way to get the person's attention, to act now once you actually did get that person's attention, and get that, now all that work you did to find the targeted list of people that have 1% or greater buyers on your list, to be able to take action, or as many of them as on that list as you can to take action once you find it. A second way to do this is to say, get a free gift. We have had people, as it pertains to targeting competitors, people that have been to a competitor's car dealership. If you are a luxury car dealer and you want to be able to target, if you can, the people that go into your competitor's luxury car dealerships itself, because those are the active buyers. In that case, if you know you can target, probably, not all, but enough, you could say, test drive an Acura this week only, and we'll give you a free steak dinner. And that's a way to get them titillated enough to be able to drop what they were doing, reading that article, to come do what you wanted them to do, or at the very least, make it an objective to have it done that weekend and not forget it. Another way to do this, which is a real example, that last one was a real example, but also real example was in the moving industry, we were able to give away free boxes to get more conversion rates, not only from our search campaigns that we were running, but as a part of a display campaign. If a person's moving, we're targeting people that are getting ready to move, okay? And what does every person need that is going to move? They need cardboard boxes to pack their stuff up. Some people will hire the moving company to pack it all up. A lot of people just pack their own stuff up. With that, in either way, if we target people that are over a 75K population, or not 75K income level, we know of anybody who makes over 75K, at least 50% of the people buy or use a moving company. And of which then at that point, we know if they're soon to be moving, because Google has this as a targeted option inside Google Display Network targeting options section there for setting up our campaign, that if we give these people free boxes, given they don't even know where to get boxes, basically. Of course, you can go to there's different places you can get them, but you need big boxes, and that kind of thing. You could call us. We know if they call us for the boxes, the likelihood that we can get them to use our moving service, given that it's a 50-50, they're going to be hiring a moving service anyway, that we'll get the business. So the cost of the boxes is irrelevant. And we were going to give them the boxes when they hired us to move anyway. And who are they going to hire? Now they talk to us. We gave them the free boxes. They like the person they talked to. We pretty much got that sale on lock at that point when they request the boxes. So that's one kind of way to do this in terms of free gift, offering something that's minimal. Another one, by the way, was grocery store offering a special gift to come into the store. What is it? It's a mystery gift. You're not going to get to know until you come in, which is one way to be able to give very little if your margins are small and still have the ad pack a punch. People that go to the store already or go to the competitor store, one of the things in that industry is just get the frequency, making sure they don't go anyplace else. So that's why they have the loss leaders. They have certain items they sell at cost to get you into the store within the flyers. If they come to your store, you can say, come in this weekend for a special gift. It's just another way of getting people's attention and a way to get people's attention, because if you just say, $1.69 on sugar, well, if I don't want sugar, it's not quite as good as a special gift can be. But in general, they have to do either one of those just to be able to get their attention at all. So you got to think along those levels. If I seen this ad, would I give a shit about this ad enough to stop doing what I was doing on my Sunday off of work and reading the sports scores of the Iowa Hawkeyes or whatever to stop what I was doing and or care enough to remember this to actually act on it. So anyway, free gift. Next one is we are better because ... So this is mainly tied into the competitor situation. If I mentioned when you do these custom intent audiences, what you can do, what I mentioned on other videos, when you do this, if you're going to do custom intent audiences and trying to target people who either been to your competitor's website in the last 30 days or searched for your competitor in the last 30 days, you do that, but you do that on an individualized competitor basis so that you can actually write down in a sheet what's better about you versus that specific competitor so that your ad can say specifically why you're better. Our device is 3 times as powerful for half the price. Therefore, you should check us out. And then when they click on that, they go to your site and you talk in detail about how your product's better than that product, or this particular product is better for side sleepers than this other product. This mattress is better for side sleepers than it is for this other, screw this up again. Sorry. This mattress is better for side sleepers than the mattress you're considering, or XYZ brand. If you want to say the competitor name, you can do that. It works much, much, much better. Some people don't want to do that, but you could just say better for side sleepers than the leading competition or whatever. And you send it to a landing page and you just talk about why you're, side-by-side comparison of your product versus that competitor's product, which that takes time to do it for each competitor, but it works extremely well. And it's in terms of, it's a lot of work, but then you can go out and do other stuff that's quote unquote scales more. You'll make more money from those non-scalable ads than you'll make from the scalable ads. So why would you skip over that opportunity of going after the most profitable audience you can target, which is your competitors' prospects, which they paid all this money to bring them in and educate them and get their attention, where you could just siphon them out at the last second before they buy Why would you not do that? Or, of course, before they buy again, if they're a repeat buyer, to be able to get them back. So that's the deal there. Now, of course, this why we are better because could also apply if somebody's just searched for your product or service in the last 30 days from Google using the custom intent audience. You could just say, we have, what our particular product does this better specifically. Our product is cheaper than all other products, or it will, basically last longer than any other products because we have an industry-leading 30-year warranty, and they can get people's attention that way. If what you're offering is different and easy to understand why it's different, and it matters a lot due to with your research that in your market to people that it matters a lot, you can potentially do that if it's a big enough, significant enough thing. Another thing you can do is you can say save X% on your next purchase. So specifically with this, and this can be applied for anything. We had a person that had a golf course, and we said, save 50% on your next golf outing. And that's all the offer was. And this goes back to what I was saying before. You should keep it simple. If you have an ad that says that and you have a landing page that says that, save 50% on your next golf golf outing in Denver, and then to see how and why, simply fill out the form and we'll send you, the information regarding this, or give us a call. And then this person doesn't know anything about your golf course. Doesn't matter. All that matters is we got a person who golfs. Nobody who doesn't golf wouldn't care about this. And that we have an opportunity to sell them on getting to our golf course. And of course, if we actually give them a 50% off voucher for our golf course, knowing that of the people who come in and golf for the first time, usually they come back 3 more times on average, that the cost of we lost all the profit on the first one, we get the profit back on the second 2. And given the cost per lead on this is so insignificant because it's so targeted and such a good offer, the campaign now can work. Versus saying we have a golf course out here, it looks beautiful, that might be okay if it's a really beautiful looking course all on its own to pull people in, but it's not like saying, basically that you're getting 50% off, that gets people's attention significantly more than here's our golf course, do you want to come or not? So that's the way that you need to be thinking. So that's another option for your ads. You can also say call for guaranteed lowest pricing. I mentioned on this channel before we had where person had, going back to the loans, home loan, reverse mortgage like that, and other types of home loans actually. This person had low rates. They didn't have the lowest rates, okay? So anyway, with that, they actually were smart enough to say, we'll give you a $50 gift card to Outback Steakhouse if, when you contact us, we don't have the lowest rate, which gets a super high click-through rate on your ad because everybody who wants a home loan wants the best rate. And because those leads actually cost a few $100s generally in this space, $100 plus in this space, to get somebody who is in market for a loan, which we can easily do through Google Display Network, somebody that's in market for a loan, to be able to, you basically gamble, you contact us, and if we don't have the lowest rate, we give you a gift card. That's an extremely good offer to get people's attention. But here's the thing, people are scared to do this. That you don't have to be the lowest price option to be able to do this and pull it off. If you had the middle range, if your prices were like in the middle of the pack in terms of you compared to your competitors, if you have that offer, they're going to come to you just thinking because you stated that and you had the balls to state that you actually are the cheapest. And even of course, if they come back and they say you're not the cheapest, that's, first of all, that's going to be 10% or less of the people that come to you through that offer are going to call you on it. And even if they do, it's a $50 gift card. The sales are going to way make up for the people that ask for the gift card and call you on it. This is just the deal. The people, when you say low price, we guarantee to have the lowest price, people just assume it. They don't actually people are lazy basically is what it comes down to. They're not going to actually go and check and see if you're the lowest. It's just something that really hits you in the gut and say, wow, they're guaranteed to be lowest, or they're going to give me a gift card. That has to be the lowest. So you get the general idea there. That's another very effective way to have an offer on an ad in front of somebody that you know is in the market for a mortgage, to get people's attention. It's all you need is a reason to get someone's attention. Once you get their attention, you can do the sales through the phone or through email and take them the rest of the way. Like I said before, try to avoid making the landing page of the website do all the selling, because people have a short attention span. And even though your website copy is amazing, you have good images there and everything, it's still really tough to take someone from reading an article to spending 20 minutes reading why your prices are the least. You just get them on the phone and sell them. And you get a salesperson to work those leads. Display ads are generally about clear, concise offer on ad, landing page which restates the offer, in a form and a phone number to call. If you have a product, it could be about watching a video. Once they're done watching the video, then they could go to the product page, but it has to be able to get across quickly what you're trying to do, or what your value proposition actually is. So that's that. Next option for your ad, you could say find out the perfect insert the blank for you. So this is where we do Quizlanders. Real situation from that particular item here was the client had sold different protein powders for muscle building and weightlifting, and if you're trying to build muscle up, there's these different supplements that everybody takes basically. And instead of it's hard to differentiate yourself in that place, particularly now as there's so many people doing it. And so with that, where you could shine, as did GNC, which they sell all kinds of supplements. They're, I think the biggest one out there still. Why they got to be such a big company is you could go into their physical location and you could ask the worker there, I have this problem, this problem, this problem. What do you recommend? Well, why not put that? And of course, you can talk to people on the phone, but that's if they could call you or do call you. Why not put into a questionnaire and have a little engine so that if somebody wants to know how to build the most muscle the quickest, which everybody who's trying to build muscle, that's everybody what they want, learn how to pick the best supplement to build the most muscle over the next 90 days possible. 30-second questionnaire. It's reinforcing that this is not going to take a long time, which helps if you're going to do a questionnaire like that. They click on the ad, you ask them 5 to 7 questions, and then an answer spits out, what you need is XYZ product, and then they can go and buy that product. That's a really effective way to get someone's attention there, because you're going to give them instant gratification. You're going to give them an instant advice on how to do the thing that they want to do. And then if you target people on top of that, people that are looking for tips on how to build muscle faster, you've got the perfect message market match right there. The person wants X, you're giving them the immediate solution they want through an engine, versus having to read more articles. You're giving them a better option than what they had before. So and the leads from that is ridiculously cheap. We're talking about $3, $4 leads for something like that. And so even though not many of those convert into a sale, out of $3 lead cost, and given when somebody buys a protein that costs $30 one time, and they on average generally stick with it, to buy an average of 4 more times, and they're spending another $250, and that lead costs $3. So you got their email address, which you can then email them forever after that. You could send them personalized emails. You can send them an automated email string. As long as you get to 1 out of 10 of those people to buy your product or try it after the thing is, once they've spent all that time to answer all those questions, they're going to feel like they wasted their time if they don't buy that product. So anyway, there's another one for you. The last one on the list here is you could also have insert the blank result. So here, if you have a really compelling, unique solution, you can actually just say what the solution is. What you want to do is stay away from saying what your product or service is, but what your product or service solves or does specifically for the user. it goes back to that saying. People don't buy drills. They buy the hole in which the drill drills into the wall. Or they don't buy drill bits. They buy the hole, 1/4-inch holes is the saying. So with that said, if you sell, let's say if it was a firearm, a gun for hunting. Yes, I know guns are not eligible to run those on Google and Facebook, but you buy a firearm, you're buying it so that you can be a better hunter. So instead of selling the gun, why not sell that you're going to be able to be more accurate in buying this gun? That's the type of thing you want to do. Okay, just as a general example. We never did that, but where we did do something is we had a company who sold different, I want to say gimmicky, but different golf clubs. It's supposed to do certain things. Different golf clubs that were supposed to make the ball spin more, drivers that made the ball go longer, and specifically in the situation where we had the driver, where the driver is the club that you hit off the tee, the one that's supposed to drive it, hit the ball the farthest if you're not a golfer. With that, everybody that golfs, going back to that again, they want to hit the ball as far as they can off that initial, hit on the hole. And they're always looking for a little bit more distance, as they call it. If your driver, you want to sell the driver, regardless of what the nuances are to it, maybe your golf club doesn't really hit the ball longer on average, but it does if you're a certain type of person. So therefore, you could say your golf club hits longer and then explain the details later on the phone call or through the landing page further on. But you get the attention right up front, get 20 yards longer drives as a result of buying this driver. So you're not even saying, we have this driver for sale, get 20 yards longer drive with this driver for sale, and then they click on it and they want to see what kind of driver that is. So instead of being where my guard is up and I'm like, I don't want to buy anything, you're saying, I have to see what this is because I got to see why this driver is getting a 20-yard longer drive. And then they go to the website that you have, a landing page that you have set up for them, and they have a little video there, and they have a little bit of explanation about what this technology is. And then you can call our company, and we'll, if you have questions about this product, you can talk to us. So it's a different spin on it. Just don't be the guy who promotes the product or service as is, because that's not usually compelling enough to get a high enough response rate from your ads, to get the click-through rate up high enough to have a high ROI on your campaigns. So anyway, I gave you a whole bunch of different examples. You pair these different things to get people's attention and get them a little bit titillated, excited about taking action of something that you have, and then you tell them it's for a limited time offer or July only, or going back to my example about the 20-yard, the driver that drives the ball 20 yards longer, you're giving them an extra 10% off with that. So you're basically combining certain things with these. Extra 10% off on the driver that drives 20 yards longer for July only. You have 9 days left. And use coupon code XYZ12 to make it look more real. That'll help your conversion rates. You got something that now has the capability to work if you got the person who normally, again, 1% or greater would be willing to buy if they saw your offer. And for the, the person that golfs all the time and wants a longer drive, you get enough of those packed into one audience and enough of them that would buy, and then you hit them with the right offer. Now you can make money. So anyway, I'll wrap it up with that. Hope you enjoyed this video. You should consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel, as I have a ton of other videos on this channel about different topics on PPC specifically, how to make money, money-making strategies, stuff to stay away from, all based upon stuff that we're doing at our PPC firm, on the testing that we're doing, on the millions of dollars of ad spend that we have going through our agency and clients' accounts at our agency. So with that said, I also, by the way, have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions to build campaigns on Google, on Facebook, and so forth, the way that I build them for our clients, and in which we have to guarantee our clients' results. So if you want to learn how to do on a more step-by-step basis, how to build campaigns, whereas on this channel we go over the high level and we don't get into detail on campaign setup, I have some really good information for you there that has personally been written by myself as well. So you could, potentially make even more money from what you're doing with your PPC with the information that you find there. If you have any questions about anything I covered here, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. As a side note, we've started a program where we offer turnkey Google ad campaigns for people who have a business and just want a proven campaign that's already worked for another company in their niche. If you're a local business, we also have national campaigns that we had working for clients that the client retired or whatever and did not use the campaigns anymore, but are working campaigns that we spent years optimizing, in which we can give you the active ads and the landing pages and everything of exactly what works. You can publicly see the campaigns that work, what kind of results they're getting, what the ROI on these campaigns were, and so forth, and get them a reasonable price. If you're looking to start up a business, you could take one of these campaigns, use it, outsource all of the work to somebody else. A multi-million-dollar a year campaign we made for plumber A could be used for plumber B, or you could partner with a plumber and just take a part of all the sales that come through. Because the ads are so efficient, you can easily be able to do that, with the setup that we have and with somebody that you partner with, as we've had other people here that have contacted us about this exact program have in the past and done. So anyway, contact our firm at Guarantee PPC if you're interested in that, and we can go over what we have available for you as far as working campaigns. Beyond that, I will wrap it up with that. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one where we have another great strategy all laid out for you, be able to take you to the next level with your campaigns there again on Google, Facebook, and so forth. See you then.